the FLS versus WLS showdown.
Oh,
Taken
what?
between Method Orange and Splyce.
Yeah, up next we have. Just a second. My OBS is actually like crashing right now. There we go. Up next, we have Splyce versus Method Orange. That is right, everybody. All of your energy, all of the do love in chat because Sea-Doo is competing up next with Snuts as well as Smexin. Don't forget Snuts and Smexin. Get that Snuts money in chat as well. But they're going up against a heavyweight for sure. Absturge, Walter Bear, Jellybeans, and Dota have been performing so well in the past couple tournaments. They've been competing together, and they're definitely one of the best teams in the Pro League for now. Like I believe they're top 3 at the moment in terms of GCD points. So this is going to be a tough team for Method Orange to get past. What compositions do you think we're going to be seeing out from these teams?
I would like to see the FLS versus WLS just to see a Warlock showdown, like Dota versus Snuts, kind of like.
Ooh.
I would like to see that in the first match. Just be like, yeah, I'm better than you. Or
Donut
like
versus
like
Snuts and Absurge versus Sea-Doo. I mean, that's pretty intense.
They have to do it one time, right? Like, I mean, if they just play jungle and they try and like counter comp them 3 games in a row, I mean, do they really win?
Do they really win? Dude, the guilt trip coming out from Supatees. Damn, man. I don't know. I actually have no idea what it is. I mean, at the same time, Jellybeans is a very busy individual. He's got work, he's got school and stuff, so I mean, he might not even be available. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. It's a blind pick composition choice going into game number 1 here. Not very blind for Method Orange, as they only have 3 players on their team, so the composition I'm assuming we're going to see from these guys, of course, is going to be WLS. They haven't played anything but this whole tournament, and as they know, it's a huge disadvantage, but they're trying to make their way through and earn themselves some GCD points to get to the finals, which happens at the end of January. Make sure everybody follows these guys on Twitter: Absturge, Spy Absturge, Walter Bear at Spy Walter Bear, Jellybeans at Spy Jellybeans, and Dota at Spy Dota. These guys all stream themselves and provide some really high-end gameplay, so if you want to catch some of them streams, check them out. Of course, we all know and love the Chucky D stream. He, of course, streams. Follow him on Twitter, as well as Snuts TV. It is his new Twitter, so make sure to follow Snuts' new Twitter at Snuts TV, and Smexin, of course, that warrior point of view. If you want to see some dunks coming out of Smexin, those heroic leap executes, it's so very fancy to watch. Make sure to follow him up on Twitter as well, and we're going to be jumping into game number 1 of this best of 5 series here very shortly. And just so you all are aware, it is the lower bracket, Splyce versus Method Orange. The loser of this series will be eliminated completely from the tournament. And here we go. Game number 1 is in the Grand Arena. Welcome to the Grand Arena. It's Splyce versus Method Orange. Splyce sticking with the jungle cleave. We see a Walter Bear, the one, the only, the Jellybeans. Now, Jellybeans doesn't get a lot of airtime, man. They usually don't utilize their Hunter, it would seem, as of late. But for this composition matchup, they wanted to get that Hunter out. They're running that jungle cleave. Jellybeans on that survival Hunter. Actually, it's a Beast Mastery Hunter. Crazy damage coming out from Jellybeans. Can't wait to see what happens. Here we go. The gates have opened.
Jellybeans, the Sea-Doo Destroyer. His only purpose in this tournament is to destroy Sea-Doo. Let's see if we can do it. Charge over onto Absturge. Smexin getting aggressive early on. Full Stormbolt out of that. Smexin trying to solo Absturge at the beginning of this game. Already down to half HP. Absturge forced to wind walk and kite back behind the pillar. We see a binding shot catching onto Smexin, slowing down his damage. Jellybeans landing a full trap onto Sea-Doo. Murder of Crows up over onto Snuts. He lands a double Shadow Fury to try and slow down some of this incoming pressure. They need to break up the CC onto Sea-Doo. Doesn't look like Walter's looking for a clone just yet. Sea-Doo forced to drop a link already early on in this game against Splyce. Absturge staying in center field, trying to keep up the Riptide. Smexin is pressuring him though, charging right over again. Recklessness Avatar, a lot of pressure still onto Absturge. Walter's going to Typhoon him back. I actually thought maybe it would have been a knock trap from Jellybeans. They're trying to peel for Absturge because Smexin's just doing so much damage. Full clone now onto Smexin, slowing down his assault here. Sea-Doo trying to maybe pre-tremor a Wyvern there, potentially. We can see now that Jellybeans and Walter want to push forward. They got that first link out of the way. They're looking to get number 2 here. Incarnation comes out. And Jellybeans actually getting Capacitor Totem, forced to trinket out of that. Really well-placed Cap Totem from Sea-Doo. But they're actually maybe swapping on a Sea-Doo. Incarn stun. Jellybeans looks for the trap. He snags the trap. Vigilance over onto Snuts with that Dark Regeneration. Good cooldown usage to deal with that Incarnation. Snuts kiting at the moment here with that Soulburn Port, trying to peel. Actually landing a full fear onto Absurge out of the lockout, trying to build some pressure. Are they going to swap over is the question. Doesn't look like they are just yet. They want to make sure that they survive this Incarn. Murder of Crows, though, comes out, and that's the second link already.
Oh my goodness, the defensive cooldowns from Method Orange are just getting ripped right through by Splyce. At the same time, the pressure from Snuts and Smexon is unbelievable. Jellybean's getting so low there, catching a huge mastery heal from Absturge. Snuts' Dark Soul's gonna be fading here, and with it, a lot of that pressure. Absturge actually getting swapped to by Smexon. When this warrior swaps over, he just does so much work. Absturge at 36% health here, getting soloed by Smexon at the moment. Stormbolt's forced out of the trinket on Absturge. He has his cooldowns available to him. Is he gonna have to use it? Sea-Doo also in his face, getting those purges as well. He's gonna get maimed up by Walter Bear. The clone is gonna be interrupted on. Great job by Method Orange to stop that. Now Snuts in the back line, taking a whole bunch of damage from Jellybeans, his pet. He's gonna port back away. This is his second Demon Soul. He wants to do some work with it very soon. Splyce needs to be pressured to push them back because this onslaught is getting every defensive cooldown. Snuts in trouble. Sea-Doo in a full trap. Maim lands over onto Snuts. Avatar from Smexon. He's trying to force these guys back, but is it gonna be enough? Now Sea-Doo into the bash. The rallying cry from Smexon. The Speller Flake coming out from Smexon, but it's not really gonna get a lot done. Snuts in trouble. Can Sea-Doo heal through this? Aura Mastery comes out. Big heal is caught. Rallying cry fades, but it doesn't matter. Sea-Doo stabilizes his team once again, and now Walter Bear is so scared. He was very close to execution range. He gets the oh my gosh, he was so very close to dying right there, but the defensive maim is gonna stop Smexon from getting a Kachink, and he's gonna trinket out of it right away. But Walter Bear catching a heal, not out of the water just yet. Absurge getting the full Stormbolt now. Walter Bear's gotta be careful, but they're trying to get the pressure over out onto Jellybeans as well. Snuts actually the kill target for Splyce. They're gonna start back over out onto him. Absurge's not in any CC just yet, but there's the full trap on Sea-Doo. Snuts has got to be careful. He's gonna port back away defensively and try to survive the next setup.
Yeah, he's trying to kite Jellybeans and the BM Hunter pet at the moment, but Absturge catches up, purging down all the Riptides. Sea-Doo caught into that clone. No cooldowns left. Link comes up in 10 more seconds. Just not enough to survive. Man, it was actually looking maybe pretty good for Method Orange if they were able to survive there. I'm surprised they actually survived the setup previous to this, but the relentless pressure from Jellybeans at Murder of Crows every minute is something that they need an answer for, and when they don't have it, things get really grim. It looked pretty good with the swaps out from Smexon onto Absturge, but overall, I mean, Method Orange, they say they've only got WLS into this tournament, but man, I know Seadrew exists. I know that Smexon's got a little Ellie in him.
Oh, baby. You want to see the LSD?
I want to see the LSD.
Dude, if they LSD, though, we might see an FLS. I don't know, but at the same time, they have...
right?
Yeah, they have
the
comp
second match,
advantage.
they won't know.
Yeah, they won't know. Oh, man. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Method Orange going down to Splyce in game number 1. That WLS jungle matchup looking like it's favoring Splyce. The onslaught of the damage that Splyce has is kind of crazy. All right. Here we go, guys. We're going to be jumping into the second game very shortly. And we're going to get the compositions out of these teams as well as the map choice from Method Orange. So the way that our format works, if you guys are unfamiliar, is that the composition advantage goes to the losing team of each round. So, for example, on the Grand Arena, both of these teams have a blind pick into the game, and it's Grand Arena. Now, the losing team of Grand Arena then gets to choose a map. That map choice gets announced to the winning team. The winning team then locks in their comp. That composition choice from the winning team gets announced to the losing team. So, in that scenario, the losing team can then choose to change their composition accordingly to what composition was chosen by the winning team, theoretically potentially giving them an advantage if they have multiple compositions available to them. And I'm really interested to see if Method Orange is going to stick to their guns, stick to their WLS, try to make something happen, or if we're going to see some crazy alts come out from these guys.
I mean, maybe they can get a map that is a little bit more suitable for them. Maybe Dalaran Sewers is a bit better. Absurge is going to kind of be forced to come in. It'd be easier for Smexon to swap more often.
Right.
But we even saw, I believe, at BlizzCon, between the Chinese team playing WLS against Absurge, they played jungle as well, and it looked just as dire for them. So I think compositionally, they're at a disadvantage, so they're going to maybe need to want to change that up. I like the adaptation with the Vigilance and Dark Regen on the Incarnation. That cooldown matchup looked really good, and Snuts was able to tank through the Incarn very well. They didn't have to use a link on it.
Right.
Maybe they could do something a little bit better at the beginning so they don't need to use a link right off the first Murder of Crows. Maybe hold on to a cooldown a little bit longer. I mean,
tough.
They were like 10 seconds away from getting another link, which would have saved him. So, like any little bit minor difference in Kaide maybe could have kept Snuts alive long enough for that next link. I don't know. It was pretty close to survival. On offense, though, Abster still had 2 links. Not that against a Warlock that your Spirit links really end up doing a lot. If your entire team is low HP, it can't really split HP that doesn't exist.
Right.
So maybe they could have made something happen, but I still think it's going to be pretty hard for them.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. One thing to note, and you said it earlier in the matchup, that it's really hard for them to deal with the 1 minute cooldown that is Crows. They seem to always need to press a button for it. Not only that, but he seems to be running Beast Mastery, and with Beast Mastery, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the damage comes from the pet. And you can't really peel pet. I mean, you can, but you don't really do, you know? So the damage is pretty consistent, it would seem, from these guys. And Walter Bear, playing that Feral Druid, never really having a problem connecting to his target, it would seem, against this team. So almost every time, Splyce is getting a really efficient trades to get those defensive cooldowns out of Method Orange. But Method Orange, you know, I really don't see WLS. It seems like it's such an uphill battle, but we're going to find out what they choose very, very shortly, guys. And we did get a new sub. Let's see who it is. It's Fretapolis. Fretapolis, thank you so much for that sub. You get a GCD, yes, my friend, and welcome to the team. Can we get some GCD hypes in chat for Fretapolis? Thank you, sir. You are my 179th subscription out of our 200 sub goal. Actually, I'm sorry, you are actually my 180th subscription out of my 200 sub goal. We actually got a goal or a sub before that. Noobster88 also sub, so make sure to get some GCD hypes in chat for him as well. Thank you guys so much for that. We are just 20 short subs away from that 200 sub goal, which is the 1v1 All-Star Tournament. Some of your favorite players going head-to-head to see who's best of their class, and I can't wait to see that go down. And thank you guys so much for all of your support. We're going to be getting into game number 2 of this best of 5 series very, very shortly. I'm assuming these guys are just talking it over, trying to figure out what it is they want to do. And I expect nothing less from Chuck Doolin, man. Like, when Chuck Doolin was on stage in BlizzCon a year ago, you saw him every single game. The 3 amigos always went behind. I don't know if you guys saw it at BlizzCon. If you were there at BlizzCon, every game, 3 Amigos got behind the stage after every game and talked about the game, which is so cool. Like, that communication is a big deal. But I feel like this is kind of what's going on right now. They're talking it over, they're figuring it out, and we're going to be getting into the game shortly. But what do you think they're talking about right now? If you were in that Skype call with them and they're talking about the game, what do you think that they're saying right now?
Probably what they want to do with the first Murder of Crows. I mean, maybe he just wanted to trade the link out so Smexon could go onto Absterge or something, so they didn't have to worry. Just like, all right, Spirit Link, we're gonna live this. Go Absterge or something like that.
Right.
This is strange to me that they're actually gonna go for Tolvaron. I
Wow.
mean, Snuts is gonna have a lot of playtime. Kaide, maybe a composition change.
Maybe we're gonna find out to see that in just a short minute. It's Tolvaron Arena, everybody. Welcome everyone to Tolvaron Arena. Method Orange opting to stick with that WLS. They feel they can do something different. They feel they can play it a bit better against Splyce to have to go on some alternate characters that they really aren't comfortable with. And I don't know. I mean, if anyone can really adapt and continue to play, I feel like it's Method Orange. They were talking for quite a while, so maybe they figured something out. Maybe they're going to try something new. Here we go. Splyce versus Method Orange. Game number 2 of this best of 5 series. In the lower bracket, the team that loses this series will be eliminated completely. So make sure all the energies are being given to your favorite players. If you have any Walter Bear subs in chat, give them all the Walter Bear emotes. I love those bear emotes. And here we go. The game's about to start. Method Orange, you know, they're playing very patiently. They're sitting at their pillar. They're like, no, we're not going to be overextending. Our advantage is in late game. Do you think that when dampening hits that Method Orange is going to have an advantage?
I mean, it can go both ways. I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to survive that long. We can see Jellybean sending his pet forward as BM. He gets a chance at a stack every time his pet attacks. So he wants it to get aggroed right away with it. Full Storm Bolt over onto Absterge. Looks like for crowd control, pressure onto Walter Bear early on. He's going to use that survival instincts to answer the Avatar Recklessness out from Smexen. Smexen not waiting for anything. Full Fear landed onto Absterge. Smexen gates back to reconnect onto Walter. Interrupts that clone. Really well done. Snuts needs to do something to answer this Murder of Crows. Seems like the Dark Regeneration Hellstone is going to be his answer. Sidu gets to hold on to his Link this time around. Actually chooses to use the Link as well, so a lot of cooldowns used early on from Method Orange here. Let's see if they can get some pressure built with it. Hot connects over onto Jellybeans. Full Storm onto Absterge. Fully dotted now by Snuts. We can see the Dark Soul out from Snuts. He's trying to build some momentum, but Sidu actually getting locked out. Incarnation gets popped. We need to see a Vigilance here out from Smexen if he's playing. I think I actually saw a Safeguard, so there is nothing really to keep him alive. Sidu pops the Ore Mastery. Big heal comes out from Sidu and saves Snuts in the nick of time.
Oh my gosh, that was so close. Trap coming out over onto Sidu. He's going to trinket out of it right away. Snuts' Demon Soul is going to fade, but it was doing some work. He's running that Blood Horror talent now. It's going to be fearing up Walter Bear at the end of that incarnation. It's going to be fading here very shortly, and the pressure is really there for Method Orange this time around. They're feeling it on Splyce. Abster's trying to heal through all this. He's getting charge stunned up by Smexen over and over all game long. Smexen's just kind of giving hell to Absterge every now and then, trying to make it hard for him to heal through all that, while Snuts goes to work on Walter Bear and Jellybean's health bar. Jellybean's catching that haunt now, dipping lower and lower. Absterge actually getting charge stunned up and getting into a stun, forced to trinket as well. And Method Orange, this is a much different game than game number one. They are pressuring Splyce back.
Ooh.
Double charge stun from Smexen. These guys are getting low. They got to be careful not being in that execution range. Absterge's going to go ahead and Link, but the pressure is on everyone. And like you said earlier, that Link doesn't get a whole lot done when everyone's at low health. Now Sidu in the trap. Snuts in trouble. The Crow's being used out onto Snuts, but Jellybean's forced to deterrence at very low health because Smexen's Avatar is going to work. Now Walter Bear in execute range. This is very scary for him. He's trying to get away from Smexen. Please don't conchick me, sir. I'm just a nice kitty. He's going to get away from him now. He's going to jump back to his healer and catch a huge heal, and it looks like Splyce is going to stabilize, but what a scary moment for Splyce.
Yeah, it really was, but now that they've recovered, Incarnation's coming up in about a minute. Abster still has one more Link. Smexen getting trapped up. That means the trap isn't available for Sidu, though. They're going to need some other form of crowd control. I don't think they're going to have it. Walter leaps over, lands the full maim. He's looking for a clone. He's not able to get it. Snuts is going to shut him down with that counterspell. Smexen leaping right back into the fray, trying to get this pressure built up again for his team. Sidu down at about half mana at the moment. His trinket coming up. Dark Soul becoming available for Snuts. Recklessness coming up. Method Orange could have a lot of pressure here shortly, but they've got to be afraid of that Murder of Crows that is now available for Jellybeans. Full dots out onto Jellybeans at the moment here. Snuts trying to build up some pressure. Really hard to do with a Hunter and a Feral on you as a Warlock here. We see Sidu caught into that binding shot, caught into the full trap. Snuts immediately portaling back. Really good portal timing here. We see the Bestial Wrath out from Jellybeans. He's trying to connect the Murder of Crows, but Snuts is just lining it. He's just lining every global of that Murder of Crows, and now Sidu is no longer crowd controlled. Amazing kite up from Snuts. Now trying to build up some pressure. Still kind of dying though. Sidu actually forced a Link. Full dots out onto Splyce. Method Orange trying to make something happen with that Link. Dark Soul and Avatar have been popped. Recklessness up as well for Smexen. Walter, Jellybeans, and Absterge all in full retreat. They know how scary the damage could be right now, and they're just going to line aside it, pull back, retreat. Their incarnation comes up in about 10 more seconds. They have nothing to worry about.
Gosh, if they can survive through setups like that over and over and over again, they are going to consistently take the lead here and force them defensive. But that kiting was so crazy. The Warlock sprint as well as the Shadow Fury. There's the bash over out in the Sidu. Jellybean's looking for the trap, but he's going to get feared up by Smexen. Sidu's going to leave that CC for now. Incarnation from Walter Bear as well as the Berserk. He's trying to get aggressive, but he gets Shadow Furied up on it. Stormbolt over on Absterge. Walter Bear in a little bit of trouble, dipping down lower and lower. The charge stun now over out on Absterge. Walter Bear catching the Spirit Link from Absterge as well, but he is out of links now moving forward into the game. 35 short seconds till his next Spirit Link, and it looks like Splyce is now trying to get aggressive as the full trap lands out on a Sidu. Snuts the kill target once again. The Incarnation's going to be fading, and the Dark Region going to be used by Snuts to try to counteract this damage, but does it matter? The Trinket Link coming out as well as the Rallying Cry. Method Orange trying to deal with the onslaught of Splyce's setup, but Snuts out of that is still in a lot of trouble. Rallying Cry going to be fading very shortly, but Sidu getting the heals off to heal his team back up. Smexon's got to be careful getting maimed up at low health. He's going to be cloned up for now. Now Splyce at 1% dampening has got to be careful from the setups of Method Orange. The cross pressure and the Demon Souls are going to be very difficult to deal with, and as I say that, one comes off a cooldown. Snups presses the button and gets aggressive, but he's got to pull back for now. Acedo's put into the full trap. He's going to play it safe regardless of the Demon Soul up, but once he reconnects out here with this Demon Soul, it's going to be harder and harder for Splyce to heal through. At 50% mana and at 3% dampening, Absterge is going to start feeling the heat. Charge Stone over out on a Jelly Bean. Stormbolt on to Absterge. Smexon trying to get in these guys' face. Nuts actually going for the interrupt. He got juked by Absterge there, it would seem, and it looks like both of these teams are just going to try to set up. There's the maim over on to Smexon. Is Seedu going to be getting into a full trap? There's the fear to follow it up onto Absterge. The double Shadow Fury from Snuts is going to prevent Seedu from getting trapped. And now Jelly Bean's getting chunked down so hard. The Dispel from Absterge is forced because Jelly Beans might have died in that deter.
Yeah, the Dispel was really key for Absterge, but Smexon leaping forward lands a full Stormbolt onto Absterge, still trying to keep the pressure onto Jelly Beans here. Bash over onto Seedu. Smexon actually getting trapped. They're swapping over into Seedu. He doesn't have a lot to deal with. He's got Stone Form for the bleeds, but he's caught into a half stun. He Stone Forms the bleeds. Murder of Crows is up. Seedu in retreat. He gates back to the pillar, trying to pick himself back up. Actually forced to pop the Ore Master, but now Snuts is going crazy. Everyone rotting down. They left him alone for just 3 seconds, and the entire team of Splyce is going down. Triple Shadow Fury comes out. Jelly Beans is forced to deterrence. Half Stormbolt over into Absterge. Smexon's looking to end this. Freedom on Absterge. He's trying to kite. He drops the link. The link does nothing. Walter falls, and Method Orange pulls it back from the brink and ties us up 1-1.
1-1 indeed. Oh my goodness. Some crazy plays coming out from both of these teams, and Method Orange bringing it to Tolvaron Arena and getting the advantage that they need and changing up their play style. I mean, Snuts doing a great job surviving when Seedu gets into those CCs and rotating through their defensive cooldowns, but Smexon's crazy pressure. I mean, even when his team is defensive and he is just going ham, though his biggest defense is just forcing this team back with some big damage. I love that Smexon is going back and forth onto Absterge. It just brings another CC variable for Absterge to have to deal with, and he slowly falls behind to the spread pressure that is Method Orange. If they can consistently do this into every game, this might be the end of Splyce. But we're going to be jumping into game number 3 here very shortly and see what these guys are going to be doing to counteract the WLS change in strat. It's 1-1 here in this best of 5 series. This is the lower bracket. That means the team that loses this series will be completely eliminated from GCD tournament number 4, and neither of these guys want to be in that position. They want to go ahead and they want to try to get to the finals. Take a quick look at that bracket, what series we're actually watching right now. It's Splyce versus Method Orange. The winner of this series will be moving on to face Tempo Storm, and then the winner of that series will go on to face Please Sponsor Us in the semifinals of the tournament. Whew. What are you
We're gonna see Runes of Lordaeron.
Oh, it's just about the polar opposite that Tolvaron Arena is. So that would make sense. I mean, if Tolvaron Arena gave Method Orange the tools to be able to make that strategy work, Tolvaron Arena, in theory, would be the exact opposite. So we're going to find out what map choice these guys are going to be playing, as well as the composition. And it looks like you called it, Supa. The map is going to be Ruins of Lordaeron. There is nowhere to hide on a map like Ruins of Lordaeron for either of them, though. So, I don't know.
I wonder if Snuts lining that Murder of Crows actually, I didn't look to see, but it definitely would have forced Jelly Beans to like hold on to his cooldowns a little bit longer than normal, because you want to pop Bestial Wrath at the same time as Murder of Crows. But what ended up happening is he popped Bestial Wrath, Snuts portaled before he could Murder of Crows, so now his cooldowns were locked by like about 6 seconds.
Right.
So it gave him like 6 seconds of like either he would play the rest of the game with those cooldowns split up for that amount of time, or he would have to wait for them to line up.
That's
I wonder if
point.
maybe slowed his damage down at all.
I mean, the opportunity for the CC on CDU only comes so often. I mean, it would be BM specifically too. That full trap only comes so often. So, I mean, you know, that in itself, he needs to get those crows off there. But oh, so that Warlock sprint, as well as the Shadow Fury, as they come back into line of sight on both the DPS, I feel like they would have fallen behind at least to a point where more defensive cooldowns would be forced. And I feel like that one play, that one little play in that whole game may have been all of the difference. And I mean, I guess that could be said for a lot of different plays, huh? But we're going to be jumping into game number 3. This is such a close series so far. I mean, both these teams just fighting for their tournament lives. And finally, the Q has popped, and we're going to jump into the next series. It's Ruins of Lordaeron. Next game, I should say. It's not a series, but here we go. All right, here we go. It's Splyce versus Method Orange, the WLS versus the Jungle Cleave. Game number 3 of this best of 5 series, and this is going to be the map choice by Splyce. That being said, Splyce won on the Grand Arena, so even if they go back and forth on their different map choices, Method Orange is going to have to beat Splyce on one of their map choices to take the series at the very least. And here we go. The gates are opened. The Jungle Cleave goes into their natural habitat, which is Ruins of Hunteron.
What is the stampede noise back in? Is it like dun dun dun? I can picture
yeah.
that. They're going right after Sea-Doo. He's already down to half HP, but Snuts is just free casting, and they really can't afford to leave him alone for very long. We see Smexon getting trapped up. Binding shot over on the Snuts. Binding shot over on the Smexon. Sea-Doo's going to gate back to the room. Walter leaps right after him, looking to try and finish him off early on. Sea-Doo's forced to pop the Ascendance Aura Mastery to top himself back off. Now we see Recklessness Avatar out from Smexon, trying to build some momentum here onto Abster. Once again, soloing him down to 26% HP. Smexon going crazy at the moment. Abster's panicking, trying to pick himself back up. He gets fully dotted. He's forced to dispel himself. Caught into that Shadow Fury, though. Good peels from Walter. Snuts shuts him down on the clone, though. Walter not able to chain the CC. Incarn comes out from Walter. Murder comes out from Jellikins, and Sea-Doo is getting global. He's forced to trinket. He drops the Spirit Link to try and sustain himself here. Walter stunning up Snuts on his Dark Soul as well. Maybe they could swap some pressure. Doesn't look like they want to just yet. This could be another link out from Sea-Doo. He goes for the cast. He gets the cast off. Walter not able to land the interrupt. They temporarily trap Sea-Doo on his cast. Rallying Cry is going to be fading here shortly. Can they keep the momentum up? Jellybeans is dipping low as well. He's forced to deter. It's so much pressure at the moment right now. Sea-Doo caught into the stun. How is he going to live? Jellybeans at the same time. Walter forced to drink it. Sea-Doo down at 20%. He's only got one leg left. Not able to get it off. And Splyce are going to take this game in reckless fashion. Smexon and Snuts not giving up just yet, but they do, however, after Abster surviving that Storm Bolt. And man, that was so close.
It was so close. I believe I even saw Jellybean's trap on Sea-Doo cast just to interrupt the cast. Like, plays like that coming out from Splyce really do make their jungle a different type of jungle that GCD has seen in the past. Like, that versatility is just bananas, and to deal with that, I mean, Smexon peeling, doing so much damage. Snuts with the Shadow Furies in the just spam fear, regardless through it all. Even Sea-Doo going out of line of sight and catching those free casts just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Sea-Doo did have that one Spirit Link available to him, but he didn't have the ability to press it, as he did get put into that full stun, into the Incarnation stun, and that's all she wrote, man. The double DR stun is going to take the game for Splyce. It is 2-1 versus Method Orange, and all of a sudden Method Orange is on the ropes, just one loss away from being eliminated completely from the tournament. Can they bring it back? We're going to find out here on their next map choice here very shortly. But before we jump into that, I'd like to take a quick moment to shout out our 181st subscriber. And it's the one, it's the only, it's Always Smiles. Thank you so much, Always Smiles, for that subscription. Let's get some GCD hypes up in chat for you, because I really do appreciate that support, man. We are at 181 subs out of our 200 sub goal and climbing, because you guys are amazing. So thanks again for that. So we're going into game number 4, I believe, of this. Oh, actually, it's game number 3. No, it's game number 4, right? Yep. Game number 4. I can count. And Splyce versus Method Orange. The winner of this series will move on to face Tempo Storm. And now, if Method Orange is able to pull it out against Splyce, they'd actually be going up against Tempo Storm for the second time this tournament, as a little bit of a rematch rivalry going on. So I can't wait to see if that happens. But if not, Splyce, of course, such an amazing competitor. They come back and they've made it all the way to the finals many times before. Will be going up against Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm, the previous champion of tournament number 3. Both of these competitors are just super heavyweights facing one another, and we're going to find out here very shortly.
Man, if Sea-Doo got that link, I think Splyce would have fallen over in like maybe another 10 more seconds or something. That was so tight. Man, I didn't actually expect it to be that close, to be honest. I
Yeah.
thought that there was just going to be so much pressure that they were just unable to counter it, and they did. They countered it back, just needed to survive a little bit longer.
Whoa.
Um,
I'm sorry for interrupting you. We just randomly got 2 more subscriptions. So the sub train is freaking real. We just got a new sub from Shredzors as well as Zephyron. Thank you so much, guys. That's amazing. You get a GCDS in my book. Can we get some GCD hypes in chat for Shredzors and Zephyron? Thank you guys so much for those subs. You guys are making the dream come alive. But yeah, this matchup has been unbelievable. These games are so cool. This is what we live for here at GCD TV. I'd like to take a moment to shout out all of our hosts as well. We're being hosted by Snuts, Dilipu, Towley, Bajira, Sidu, Venruki, Vanguards, as well as Mitch Jones. That is the love. That is the support of the PvP community, and you guys all make it happen. Thank you so much for all of it. We are one dream and one team, so thank you. We're going to be getting into the next game here very, very shortly. I'll show you guys the bracket one more time. A couple of you guys were asking if you could show it. If you guys want to watch or see what's on the bracket, you can check out the live bracket at Battle5's website. The way that you go and navigate to that is actually through the tournament button found below. That tournament button, you just click that and you can go and see who's competing in the teams, the participants tab, as well as the brackets tab. And that is always available to you guys at any time, as well as the schedule. If you guys are a little bit confused at when we host these events, there is a calendar found below. In that calendar, you can actually click on it and get the exact times. And we just got a new sub. Furiosity, thank you so much. You're bringing the train along the track. Thank you, sir, and welcome to the team. GCDS for you. But we're going to be jumping into the next game, guys. Let's get some GCD and hype in chat for him. Next game, Blades Edge Arena. Welcome to Blades Edge Arena. A map like this, man, the line of sight and the positioning, it can be funky. Now, Method Orange seems to be, their main kill target from Splyce seems to be Snuts. And there's a Z-axis map on here for Snuts to be able to jump down and port back up to negate some of the damage of Splyce. Maybe this is the advantage they need to take down Splyce and to tie up the series 2-2. We're going to find out here very, very shortly.
I think they're just going to run at Sea-Doo again with Blades Edge Arena. Snuts is going to be very slippery, so I think Sea-Doo might be their safest target here.
Right.
And it looks like Jellybeans is just going to send his pet in. He wants to try and build up some stacks early on. There's the full pounce stun onto Sea-Doo, and Walter just does not care whatsoever. Just going immediately after Sea-Doo. Oh, soloing him. So much damage up from Walter here. Huge ferocious bite. Forced to actually Stormbolt Walter. Abster's in the meantime taking a bit of pressure, trying to recover himself. Full trap over onto Smexon. Does get dispelled by Sea-Doo, but I don't think they're giving up the blue hunt just yet. Snuts popping his Dark Soul to try and change the momentum here for his team. Triple charge stun out from Smexon. Abster's at center bridge, trying to pick his team back up here. He's very scared of getting counterspell at the moment, trying to hold on to his casts. Sea-Doo going for that healing surge. He gets locked out on it. This could be the game here and now. Rallying Cry, Hellstone comes out. Sea-Doo in desperation drops that link. He's going to save his trinket for now, but for how much longer? He's gone to that full stun. He's forced to trinket link again. The second Dark Soul out from Snuts. They have to make something happen with this. This incarnation is just going to be so insurmountable. Sea-Doo's forced to pop his Aura Master. He's trying to cling on to life. Smexon gets dispelled on that trap. Charge stun over on Absurge into the full fear. What can they get done with it? Sea-Doo is on a clock and it is ticking fast.
No buttons remain for Sea-Doo, man. This is a scary moment for the Dew. Can he survive through Splyce's damage? But at the same time, Snuts and Smexon, he's doing work for their team. Double Shadow Fury from Snuts. Bash onto Sea-Doo, though. He actually trinkets to get that bash. He gets the prowl into the stun. Sea-Doo stone forms. He's trying to get away with the Windwalk Totem. Is this going to be it for Sea-Doo? Absurge on the back foot, though. He's got to be careful as well. Snuts and Smexon are bringing him back into this game. Walter Bear getting so low. Haunts connect. He was almost in execute range. The avatar from Smexon is the force to be reckoned with. Jellybean's forced to deter there. Absurge can't heal through all of this. Jellybean so low. A Spirit Link coming out from Absurge. Walter Bear getting charged up and gets executed. Slam dunk from Snutson, tying the game back up 2-2. Method Orange is not knocked out of this tournament. Not yet.
You cannot leave Snuts open, dude. Like, you need
Unbelievable.
at least 2 guys on Snuts to keep him down. Like, holy, what?
Snuts' damage is actually unbelievable. When you leave that guy alone, everyone feels the pain. Let's take a quick look at that replay. The cross pressure that Method Orange produced is just unfreaking believable. The charge stun ka-chink coming out from Smexen to end the game. That avatar and the demon soul coming out from these guys just really makes it very difficult for Method Orange. And not only that, but Cedu's trying to peel away, forcing Splyce in some weird positions. Absurd's forced to try to heal them through this, running under the bridge and around pillars. Makes it very difficult, and he just fell behind, and there it is. Method Orange and Splyce. It's 2-2. We're going to match point. Game number 5. Splyce, though, getting the map choice. That being said, Splyce might have the map choice, but a lot of their map choices has already been played. Nagrand Arena, Ruins of Orderon, Tolvaron Arena, as well as to Blade's Edge now. So that leaves what? Dalaran Sewers and Tiger's Peak. Both of those, Tiger's Peak, a very even map choice. Dalaran Sewers, much smaller, very similar to Ruins of Orderon. I'm assuming we're going to see that. But at the same time, there is boxes on there. There is a Z-axis.
Even Ruins of Orderon didn't look absolutely one-sided.
Right.
Like, it's not like the small map like was like, oh man, they got wrecked. It was like, man, if he actually lived like 5 seconds longer, like, that could have gone the other way. And I don't think they can really rush Cedu down. It's not working for them. It's like 2 games now. They did win 1, but I just think they need to be going Snuts. They can't let him free cast. Absurd is just falling behind way too much, and Cedu's able to survive well enough. And he got that stone form off at one point, I think, right when I was talking about the clock, and he had full bleeds. He got away from both of them, and he stone formed off the bleeds to slow down the damage completely, and then got out of line of sight and casted himself back up to full HP. So he went through his cooldowns, I think, pretty efficiently. He didn't get bursted down at all, traded out the links to the Incarn, but I just don't think Splyce can leave Snuts open anymore. They've got to cover him.
Yeah, I mean, like on a map like that, if they go on Snuts, he just can port right back up. I'm assuming we're going to be bringing this to Dalaran Sewers, and Dalaran Sewers might be a double-sided sword for Splyce, as there is that Z-axis. There's those positioning of those boxes. Snuts could utilize them to really make it a hard time for Splyce to connect onto him, and if he's able to do that, I am proven wrong. I feel like they had the same thought process as me, as they brought the final game of this best-of-5 series, to Tiger's Peak. Welcome everyone to Tiger's Peak. It's Method Orange versus Splyce. Game point here between these two teams. We have the Jungle Cleave versus the WLS. And I don't know, man. On Tiger's Peak, it could go either way for sure. We're going to find out here.
I'm casting this game on my knees.
Are you praying to the RNG gods?
I'm kneeling down to Snuts God.
Oh man, the damage is real for Method Orange, and that's exactly what you need when you are running the Warrior Lock Shaman composition. Can Splyce, can they do it? Can they purse down and set something up and kill Method Orange? We're going to find out here very, very shortly. Walter Bear moving in to get the opener. It looks like Cedu once again is the kill target. Safeguard being eaten from Smexen right away. Cedu trying to pull back the capacitor totem on Walter Bear is going to stop the momentum of that opener completely. Now Walter Bear getting horrified up from Snuts' blood horror. Jelly means the kill target catching that haunt. Fear over out on the Absurge, and that's going to be a Shadow Fury on the Jelly means. He has a trinket. He's at 4% health, and he goes down. Method Orange makes it happen in the opener here in game number 5, knocking Splyce out of the tournament. What the heck just happened? I mean, as you guys know, damage does go through deters. and Jellybeans got so very low there. The heroic leap coming out from Smexen, interrupting Upsurge on his cast, holding on to their trinkets though. Surely Jellybeans won't be globaled completely, and just keep an eye on Jellybeans' health bar as he just gets chunked down completely. He gets the deter off, he trinkets a Shadow Fury to get the deter off, and it doesn't matter. The dots tick, he goes down, and there's the game.
So that's just doubling everyone's damage casually.
Snuts with nearly 1,000,000 damage done. 1,000,000 damage done. That was not even a minute-long game. Method Orange showing everyone what's what, showing that they are here to compete with the best of the best. Moving on here further into the lower